Home Assistant has changed, and now you can organize almost anything inside by adding labels, floors and categories. It is also possible to target these things in home automations and scripts. But are floors, labels and categories at another layer of complexity? I'll try to explain as simple as I can, so let's find out together. I will start with the floors first. This is my test Home Assistant environment. I'll press the C button to invoke this search command bar and I'll type areas. Then I'll select navigate areas. And these are my defined areas. Areas were available in the previous releases, so there is no changes in them at all for now. But if you can see here, I have two buttons, create area and floor. And if I click on create floor, I'll see this dialog. I can enter a name for my new floor. I can select a level. This icon is auto-updated depending on the level that I type. For example, 1. And I can assign areas to this level. For example, bedroom and kitchen. I can add aliases to this floor and I can refer to them using Voice Assistant at a later stage. I just have to type something here and I'm ready. I have a new floor now, and as you can see, bedrooms and kitchen areas are on the first floor. I can add more floors if I wish. For example, second floor, the level will be 2. And I can add different areas here, or probably the same. What will happen if I add the same? I'm not sure. Bedroom and kitchen. I'll add alias, which is optional. And these areas are now moved from ground floor to second floor. And if I want to add another bedroom area, is that possible at all? Let's find out. Bedroom, floor, ground, label. I'll talk about labels later in the video. And aliases, I'll not add anything more. Let's try. No, bedroom is already in use, so I should type something different here. Bedroom second, or something like that. And now I can have bedroom on first floor and bedroom on second floor. Good, same is valid for kitchen. I can add kitchen 2 or kitchen ground level, and I can assign it to the first floor of my house. So what are floors actually? It is a simple visual and logical representation and segmentation of your house. So Home Assistant will know better your smart home, and you can target floors in your scripts and automations, as I'll try to do right now. I'll open another tab of my Home Assistant settings and I'll go to the automations and scenes. I'll create a new automation, empty one, and I'll not add trigger and condition because this is just for test, and I'll just add an action. And this action will be, for example, switch, turn off, and the whole example can be the following. When no movement is detected on the ground floor, on the first floor, for 10 minutes, turn off all switches on the entire first floor. This can be accomplished easily by setting a trigger right here, and the action will be turned off. And from what I can see here, I can select area, device, entity or label. But where are the floors? They are inside the areas, and I can select the entire ground floor, and that way I don't have to select many areas, and every switch on the ground floor, if I define them in such a way, will be turned off when there is no movement for 10 minutes or something like that. And this is a beautiful way to target large spaces that are predefined in your Home Assistant, and as you saw, defining floors is very easy and intuitive. If you have a multi-level house, you can define it in minutes in your Home Assistant. Next thing that I want to talk about is categories, and categories help you manage your automation, scripts, scenes, almost everything. Let me show you. If some of the terms that I'm using are not so clear for you, download my Smart Home Glossary. It is absolutely free. I'll open the automations section, and these are the new things here. On top we have a new toolbar. That was missing before. Before that we had a search button and you have to know the exact name of your automation to find it out, and if you have a lot of them it will be kind of difficult to filter out what you will need exactly. But now you can group your automations by categories, by area, by state, and grouping an automation is very easy. You just have to click on this three dots menu and then on assign category, and I'll create a demo category. This could be lightning, switches, security, whatever, and I can add an icon. It's entirely optional, of course, and now my action demo is in the demo category. I can assign more categories. From here I can already select the created category, or I can create a new one. That way I can organize my automations beautifully. Same is valid for the scripts. Same toolbar here. And scenes. You can assign category to scenes. Few more things I want to show you here. Filters, which is showing an entirely new sidebar where you can filter by areas, by floors, and by devices, labels, as we will talk about them later, and categories. So if I create another category from here, assign category, add new category, demo 2. Sorry, but I cannot think of better names. They are just simple and silly names. I hope you understand it that way better. So I have now 2 categories and I can list only the first one, and every automation that is in the demo category will be filtered out here. If I select demo 2, I'll see this category only. From here I can clear any filter I have, and this is another button from where I can add category. It is the same as if I'm clicking on this three dot menu, add category or edit category, and we have blueprints. So I can filter my automations by blueprints, like that. Nice little touch that is very useful if you have a lot of automations and scripts or scenes. It is applicable for all of that. I'll close this filter sidebar and I'll click on this selection mode button, and now I can select several automations like that, and I can control them all. For example, I can move them to category, to existing ones, or to new one, or to remove them from all categories. I can add labels, but for labels we'll talk after a while, and I can enable or disable them from this three dots menu, like that. And this is a great way, if you have a lot of automations, to select few of them and to put them in one category, which is great. As I told you earlier, this is also available for devices section and for entity sections and for helpers. So for all of them you can use the filters. You can control multiple of them by selecting this button right here, and you can group them by type, category, and name, and entity ID, and so on and so forth. So, what are categories? They are just allowing organization and grouping. That's all. Next thing that I want to talk about are labels, and this one is huge and I like them a lot. If you want to know more about Home Assistant, then please register for my upcoming webinar. It is absolutely free. I'm waiting you there. I'll press the C button on my Home Assistant test environment and I'll type labels. And I'll select navigate labels. The main menu where you can add labels, but this is kind of boring. The better way is to go to your entities or automations or scripts or whatever you want to add a label to, for example automations, and to click on the three dots menu again, then on information, cogwheel button, and from here you can add labels. I guess this location of the adding label menu can be changed in the future release because it's kind of a hidden now, and it will be a lot more intuitive if it is in the overflow menu, the three dots menu right here. So how can I add a label? I'll click on this add a new label button. I can name it somehow, and this is a very original name, label 1. I can also add an icon. It doesn't matter actually, for example this fan speed 1, and I can add a color. And I can click on create. The good thing here with the labels is that I can add multiple labels to one automation or to one entity or to one device. And this is the difference between the label and category, because your automation can be only in one category, but your automation can have multiple labels. As you see just in a few seconds, I'll add label 2. And just like that, and now my automation have 2 labels. If I click update, this will be visible in my automation section, and if I click on one of them, it will filter all automation that is having this label. I can also use these labels filter from this sidebar, it is the same, and I can clear all filters, and just like that I can add labels to scenes from here, scripts same way, and blueprints. Is it possible to add labels on blueprints? No, I think it is not possible for now. What I forgot to mention is that if I go to the automation editor or script editor, and if I create a new automation, I can target the labels. For example, turn off switch again, and I can select here label. But before that I should add this label to my switch. Where it is? This one, for example. And I'll add label 1, update, and now this entity is having a label. I can also add labels to devices, like that, and now this device is having a label. And now if I return back to my automation, in the action section I can target labels here. Just like floors, you can use labels in your automations as a target. Here is something more advanced that I want to show you. If you're using templates in your automations or scripts, you now have functions for labels. For example, if I copy this function, and if I go to my Home Assistant, Developer Tools, Template, if I type 2 curly brackets, and if I paste the function, and if I close this, I will list all of my labels here in one list. And I can also try the same with the other functions, and I can use all of these in my scripts and automations. For example, I can look up for the ID of the label or the name or the area. For example, I can try one more of these new function. For example, this label devices. And if I paste this right here, and if I close this inside curly brackets, and if I change the name here to label 1, if I put quotes, and I should see something, and this is the device ID that is having this label 2. And I can use these things in my Home Assistant and automations. Same is valid for floors. For example, I can use this floors function to list all of my floors. Curly brackets again, floors with regular brackets, and I'll close this. And this will list all of my floors defined in my test Home Assistant. With the same success, I can use the other functions right here. And I even have some examples. This is all available in the Home Assistant documentation. Can you please share what are your thoughts about floors, categories and labels in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, I'm Kirill and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!